Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea to Dune race. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion, wearing his familiar navy blue and white, great waddling style. Another pre-race favourite though, losing touch with the pack. Maybe that's why. A few too many fish in the day's feeding. There's a familiar face, Skip McIntyre, 8 times a champion back in the 90s, a very successful coach now, keeping a keen eye on proceedings. This the leading group, 1 or 2 still able to put on a show for the camera, others just ploughing straight over it. Some resorting to shortcuts. Sad that cheating has crept into this beautiful sport. The judges will have a look at that. But up at the front, the pace is relentless, closing in on those sand dunes that will offer a bed for the night. The fatigue starting to tell. Who's got the finishing kick up on the outside? What a turn of pace from that one, whichever one it is. No answer from the rest, and he takes victory. What a win. There we are, into the Burrow, building an extension with his winnings, and back tomorrow to try and defend his title here on Phillip Island.
Everybody, and welcome back to another night of live Penguin TV. It is a dark, stormy night here on Phillip Island and in Victoria, Australia. So much so that our beautiful little penguins that we have here have already started crossing the beach, because with these dark, stormy weathers, the penguins know that they can cross the beach earlier because those big scary birds of prey that would love to munch on a penguin have already gone to bed. So there has been a very, very keen waddle of penguins, or a group of penguins that has already crossed the beach. And it looks like this little guy that we have just here, I think there's 2 of them, we've got a little bit shy. They're a little bit nervous. They want to have as many friends with them as possible because there's safety in numbers. Crossing the beach at the end of the day is the scariest time of day for these little birds. And lucky for them though, we have a lovely high tide, so they don't have a long stretch of beach to cross where they're kind of open and vulnerable. I should probably, though, introduce myself if this is your first time watching live Penguin TV. My name is Jordan. I'm a ranger here at the Penguin Parade. And tonight we are going to be spending about 25-30 minutes watching the smaller species of penguin make their way back home from a big day, couple of days or a couple of weeks out in the ocean, back to their burrows on land here on Phillip Island, back into the penguin colony. And tonight we are also joined, it looks like there's another penguin in the waves just there. We are also joined by Rach. Rach, come in, say hello, and let us know what you're going to be doing tonight.
Hello, hi everyone. I will be monitoring your questions on Facebook and YouTube, so please pop them in and I'll pick some up and give them all to Jordan. And if I'm guessing yesterday's night's number, please pop them in your questions, and we will be seeing who's guessing. I've got Jenny, Belinda, Kaylee guessing really close, and yesterday they came home at 6:12. So we'll give you the numbers later.
Exactly. So every single night I've just lost sight. Oh no, there we are. Still kind of playing around in the waves. They are so tricky to spot. when they're out in the ocean. Every single night here at the Penguin Parade, we are counting penguins. So we've been counting penguins nearly every single night since 1968 for 50 minutes, 50 minutes. And here on Live Penguin TV, we like to get everybody's guesses as to how many penguins everyone in the comments thought crossed the beach the night before. And I think I've spotted a couple more, or it might have been the same too. They're staying nice and close together again. There's safety in numbers. So yeah, in the comments, please let us know how many penguins that you think will have crossed the beach last night. And we'll give a little bit of a shout out to those who have the closest guess, or a couple of close guesses as well. So we are super excited to be able to bring you Live Penguin TV wherever you may be in the world. As you can see, we do have some people here watching the penguins crossing the beach here at the Penguin Parade. We are open to members of the public, which is super exciting. But for those of you who might be interstate or overseas, if you can't visit us here at the Penguin Parade, we have Live Penguin TV here for you. Now, I'm struggling to spot any other penguins just yet. I reckon that first group that crossed the beach were just super duper keen, and there's probably another raft of penguins or a group of penguins out at sea, chatting to each other out in the ocean, making a sound that if you're a regular viewer of Live Penguin TV, you will know exactly what I'm about to say. And if you are a first time viewer, you've probably seen some people commenting in the comments, "Huck, huck, huck." And that's penguin language for, is it dark enough? Is there anybody else out there? Can we cross the beach yet? Is it safe? What do we think? So it sounds a little bit like, huck, 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 huck. Rach? Huck, 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 huck. So I wonder, oh, here we go. There we go. Oh, look at that nice big waddle of penguins. So yes, we do like to call a group of penguins on land a waddle, and it's pretty self-explanatory why, in my opinion. Oh, it looks like we've got a couple of latecomers coming in from the other side. They'll try and group in nice and close together so that, there's safety in numbers. This is their chance to socialize here on land, these little penguins, because typically they'll be foraging out in the ocean all by their lonesome, all by themselves, or maybe in small groups. But yeah, when they come home, they want to have as many friends with them as possible. Oh, it looks like there's someone taking up the rear, but it doesn't look like it's in too much of a hurry, that penguin over there, I don't think. Lucky that there's a nice high tide, so the penguins don't have to worry about being stranded on land. Now, so Rach, I can see she's busy writing down some numbers. And there's a few more penguins that are coming in as well. One of the things that we also love getting everyone's guesses for is how many penguins they think are in each group or each waddle of penguins that cross the beach. So in a few seconds, I will ask Rach for how many penguins were counted in this group just here. Ranger Viv is our penguin counter tonight, and I believe she might have just radioed through the results. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to get your guesses in. But Rach, before that, can you put us out of our misery and let us know how many penguins crossed the beach last night?
Awesome. Last night we've got 558.
558 penguins. Isn't that incredible? That is a buttload of penguins. So very, very lucky. And we normally get similar numbers of penguins coming in night after night. Now, these penguins can spend anywhere from one day up to about 4 or 5 weeks out in the ocean at any one time. They can sleep out in the water, they can keep warm, they float just on the surface of the water, and they nap for 4 minutes at a time. So they go through a full REM cycle of sleep in those 4 minutes, which is pretty incredible. And they even sleep just with their eyes open. So they sometimes sleep when they're on their journey home as well, because it might just kind of see them stop, and if they don't move for a couple of minutes, but they've got their eyes open, they might just be having a little bit of a micro nap. So they're pretty cool little creatures. But the reason these little penguins spend so long out in the ocean is because they're pescatarian. They only eat seafood. As soon as they come on land, they're effectively on a diet or they're fasting. So they only come home if they've got things to do, places to be, business to attend to, socializing to do. And we are just kind of ramping up for the breeding season at the moment. And if you have a look just above me over here, you have probably noticed that we have some penguins up there on the Penguin Highway, and they will continue making their way up that highway. It's one of the most popular penguin pathways here at the Penguin Parade, and after I reckon we've followed this little group of penguins up the hill, we might be able to switch screens, but I'll zoom out just a touch so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But this is a fairly long, steep hill that these penguins have a huge journey of heading up tonight, those poor little things. So wish them luck on their journey home. Some of these penguins might have nearly 2 kilometers to walk back to their burrows. And I reckon I might just switch to our little Penguin Highway now. See them waddling up nice and close. This is a great little view to see them as they make their way home. So just like us penguins, they've got their own address. So they're always heading back to the same penguin burrow. Oh, and let me just switch it up the highway so that we can see their beautiful little waddly bottoms heading up the highway here. So yeah, they are always heading back to the same burrow whenever they are making their way home, but sometimes they might visit their cheeky boyfriend or girlfriend on the way as well. These penguins are what we call socially monogamous, so it means typically they pair up with the same breeding partner year after year, but they do get divorced. And yeah, they can have up to a few different boyfriends and girlfriends a night, especially if they're left unsupervised. So it's a fun life for these little penguins here at the Penguin Parade. Now, I feel very, very sorry for the people who are here at the parade watching the penguins tonight. It is a cold, windy, rainy evening tonight. In fact, as I was driving to work this evening, it was hailing. So pretty hectic weather, so I hope everybody who is on the Penguins Plus stand, which is just below us here, is nice and warm and rugged up. Now, just before I go too much further, of course you know that we are here on Phillip Island in Victoria, Australia, but I just want to acknowledge that we are on Milau, the traditional lands of the Bunurong, who are the traditional custodians of the land here on Phillip Island on Milau. And our records show that the Bunurong have been coming over to Milau for many, many thousands of years, living peacefully with the plants, the animals, the penguins, and the natural environment that we have here. So, they've been living very sustainably with the land for many, many thousands of years, and these penguins have benefited from such sustainable land practices. So I want to encourage all of you at home to think about different ways that you can live a little bit more sustainably and harmoniously with the land, like the Bunurong have done for so many thousands of years. So we like to pay our respects to the Bunurong, their elders past, present and emerging. And I would love to hear in the comments if you know who the traditional custodians are of the land that you're watching us from as well. That would be absolutely lovely. So thank you in advance for everybody paying their respects like that. Now, it looks like we have one solo penguin hanging out at the beach. I wonder if that little penguin over there can hear a little bit of a huck, 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 and it's waiting for some friends to come home out from the ocean. What are you doing there, buddy? I feel like you're a little bit further on the land, but what are you doing? It's looking back, so I wonder if it can definitely hear some friends out in the ocean. So I'm hopeful that we might have another raft or another group of penguins starting to swim in momentarily. But when it's still a little bit light out there at the moment, which means there potentially may still be some predatory birds flying around. And you can see that this penguin, he's kind of crouched, he or she, it's kind of crouched down a little bit, looking around. It's a little bit nervous. When the penguins feel quite comfortable, they stand up, they'll preen themselves. But this one's looking a little bit nervous, and you are going to disappear into the bushes, aren't you? Thank you for that. Very kind, thoughtful penguin. Oh, and hello. I was right. You can call me the penguin whisperer, everyone. Look at the penguins surfing these waves in. Oh, and someone looks like they have joined these penguins from the colony as well. My goodness. Sorry, Rach. How many penguins were in that group that we watched? I got too distracted.
Well, we had, Vivian was telling us 150.
150. Ooh, well, I mean, if we get similar numbers night after night, this is another really big group. I reckon I'd probably say close to 100 in this one. So I think we're on track to beating last night's number if the penguin arrival numbers keep up at this rate. So send all your love and all your luck to Viv tonight. Penguin counting on the best of nights can be incredibly hard and incredibly stressful. But Viv is actually about 100 meters down the beach and she's counting this group of penguins with a pair of binoculars going 5, 10, 15, 20, 120 penguins. So it is an estimate. It's our best kind of guess because you can't always get every single penguin in your guesses for the night. We have a really long-term data set which shows us the trends in the populations year after year. And it shows us, is there more penguins compared to this time last year coming in? Is there more? Is there less? What about 10 years ago? 20, 50 years ago? So it shows us, kind of how many penguins are starting to make their way home at different times of the year. And that is a nice waddle of penguins. Poor Viv having to count these little guys with, only not even a meter of beach. And it's very, very tricky to count them when they get onto these nice dark rocks as well. So are we getting many people guessing how many were in each group, Rach? Oh, it looks like there's some more coming up from behind. Do we have any close guesses? Do we have any expert penguin counters amongst us?
We got a few.
Not a
Pretty
few.
good.
Excellent. So at any point throughout the night, please let us know how many penguins you think are in each group. And if this is your first time watching the Rangers here at the Penguin Parade, we like to play something called Penguin Lotto. And we all try to guess how many penguins we think are going to cross the beach on the night that we're working. And the person who guesses the closest gets a lovely chocolate bar. And I was the one who had to provide the chocolate bar last night. And Sally, our penguin counter yesterday, I think she guessed 3 penguins off.
Wow.
Very, very close. Look at them all coming on in. Those teeny tiny little legs managing to jump over all those rocks. They do such a good job, these little guys. Now, as I mentioned as well, please at any point throughout the stream, if you have any burning questions that you would like answered, do let us know. Rach is monitoring the Facebook and YouTube comments throughout the night. So Rach, do we have any questions that we'd like to answer so far on tonight's stream?
Yeah, we do. At the very beginning,
Lovely.
Kaylee was asking, do penguins actually swim through the wave? Or do they surf in on the waves itself?
Oh, Kaylee, do they swim in the waves or do they surf? They do a little bit of both. So in fact, I'm just going to switch over to the Penguin Highway because it looks like there's a bit of action going on just here. Look at their little waddly faces. They are full of fish. It looks like you can see their double chins. They've had plenty of food out in the ocean. The fatter the penguin, the better looking the penguin, because it means you're really good at finding food. Come on, camera, keep up with the penguins. I wish it was quicker, but look how quick they are zooming through. So you probably noticed that when you were just watching those penguins surfing the waves in just a couple of minutes ago, some of them kind of dive under, some of them you're surfing the waves in. So a little bit of both, just depending on what the penguins are feeling like doing pretty much. So great question, Kaylee. Thank you for that. All right, and look, they are zooming back up the Penguin Highway. And yeah, some of them might have a beautiful beachside residence. Others might have to go a couple of kilometers inland. Up the hill that we just saw, that first kind of group taking as well, so it can be a tough journey for these little penguins, but they'll always return to a similar area to where their parents raised them. That's the area they're familiar with. They've memorized the path from that area of the penguin colony down to the beach and back. So yeah, pretty incredible little birds. They normally return back to the same burrows every single night, but sometimes they do kind of move around either side. We do have some little mortgage-free penguin homes, which in fact I might show you in just a moment if I flick back to our main camera. Although I lie, it looks like we have some more penguins starting to cross. This group only looks a little bit smaller, so sorry, I'm gonna press pause on showing you those mortgage-free penguin homes in just a moment. But typically penguins will burrow in the ground. Their burrows, they've kind of got a bit of a tunnel where they access their burrow, and at the end of the burrow it's kind of like a chamber or a little bowl at the end where they'll sit during the day, where they'll sit on their eggs and raise their chicks. But yeah, that can be up to 1 meter long, so quite pretty good excavating for a little bird that's only about 33 centimeters or 1 foot tall. But we do have, as I mentioned, some little artificial nest boxes here on Phillip Island, because unfortunately in the past some of the penguins' habitat has been degraded and affected by human activity in the past. If any of you have been lucky enough to go for a little bit of a wander or a drive up to the Nobby, so that's between us here at the Penguin Parade, about 3 kilometers west, 3 kilometers that way. There used to be an entire housing estate, over 180 houses. There was a shell museum, a golf course. There was, what else, Rach? I'm drawing blanks. Lots of other buildings.
Yeah, sweets shops, newspaper stands, lots of little different.
All kinds of things. So there was an entire estate up there, but you can imagine that having people living in amongst the penguins wasn't very good for the penguins, and where there were roads and houses and things, it did compact the soil, which made it a little bit more difficult for the penguins to dig their own burrows. So in a moment I'll show you some little mortgage-free penguin homes that we've made for our little pengs to make sure that they can have a nice, happy, safe spot when they decide to nest here on land. Oh, and these guys have got a little bit of a fright or something, have they? Oh no, they're gonna persevere. I might jump out just a little bit and see if we can spot any of those artificial nest boxes, although it looks like there's a few more penguins at the beach. Let's see if there's any penguins hanging out in the colony. I can see one white little belly just there. Oh, he's got his side to us now. You can see all this beautiful lush green vegetation. We've had lots of beautiful rain and sunshine. Oh, hang on a minute. Look who I found, Rach. Can you see who's on the screen?
Oh,
We have a Cape Barren goose.
Oh, wow.
Now, there's a little bit of a story to this goose if this is your first time tuning into live Penguin TV. So over here, this is a type of goose, one of the rarest species of geese in the world, the Cape Barren goose. But just like many other species of geese, these guys can be, I'm not going to say they're angry birds, but they
Grumpy.
They can be a little bit grumpy, but they're very good, very defensive parents. Now, these guys are vegetarian. They only eat leaves, grass, berries, and things like that. But if they have eggs and if they have their little goslings, they can be very defensive. And it doesn't matter if you're a person, a penguin, a car, or a bus, they will chase you. And we've been seeing some of these geese actually chasing some penguins in front of Penguins Plus. And all you regular wattle watchers out here have tried to kind of name these geese. So I believe the most popular name was Goosey McGooseface. I think there was Ryan Gooseling. I like to call the little baby goslings Little Ryans, because, you know, Ryan Goslings. I can't honestly take credit for that though. Oh, the penguins have spotted the geese. So they've got a few more there. I wonder what the penguins are going to think. So even though the goose isn't actually going to harm the penguins in any way, any big kind of bird might be a little bit scary, a little bit daunting or intimidating for these little penguins. So I'm curious to see what they think, because it might be a little bit of fun. Well, looks like they might be trying to kind of go around the goose, maybe. I've lost, I think, is that the goose face? Oh, the goose is looking at them. Must just be having a little bit of a drink from this little freshwater pool. Oh, over here, it's looking. What's it going to do? It might be a very chill goose tonight. Who knows? Doesn't seem to be paying the penguins too much attention. The penguins are getting quite close to it. I'd probably say within about 1 metre or 1.5 meters potentially. So I don't know if we're going to see any penguin versus goose antics tonight. Oh, and I might switch over to our Penguin Highway again because it looks like we've got some more friends coming up the Penguin Highway. Welcome home, everybody. You made it safe and sound past that goose. Must have been a very scary experience. Oh, and I think in the background, I have spotted some penguins heading up the hill over here. And this is where, oh, I've lost sight of you guys. Where are we? Hang on. And they are probably going to be going past some little mortgage-free penguin homes. Yep, there they are. So we can see them. They're nearly halfway up the hill. And if you have a little bit of a look just where they've gone past, we have those mortgage-free penguin homes that I was just talking about before. And it actually looks like this one has been kind of semi-well used, because if we kind of zoom in a little bit more, I'm going to start talking about my absolute favorite topic, and that is penguin poo. So in that box 2/20, this is one of our research burrows that our researchers check once every 2 weeks to check to see who's home in the penguin colony. We check to see penguin weight, so we see kind of how well they're doing, how much food they're getting, to see their breeding success or their divorce rate. So there's lots of different great things that we can tell. But yes, the reason that I know that there has been someone at home quite recently is because you can see there is a nice fresh sample of penguin poo in that little entranceway. And poo tells us lots and lots of great things about penguins. It tells us about what they're eating and at kind of what level of the trophic food chain penguins have been eating. So they eat things like pilchards, anchovies, squid, salps, which is like a jellyfish type thing. And it can be very tricky, contrary to popular belief, to find a perfect poo sample so that we can work out what the penguins are eating, because it can't be contaminated with any dirt, vegetation, bugs, human hair, anything like that. So it's always very exciting when you do get to see a nice fresh penguin poo out in the colony. And if any of you guys are lucky enough tonight or any night on the Penguin live stream, I found one little friend who's making its way up the hill all by yourself. You should go on that little penguin residential street just there. It'll be much easier than going through the that grass. Maybe not. Can I see something dark here? Is that just some vegetation? Oh no, it was just a kangaroo apple. Never mind, it's just a type of tree. Thought it might be something dark and interesting in the bushes over there. Maybe let's head back over to the beach to see if we can spot any penguins. Oh, and it looks like we've just had a group hit the beach or hang out here at the resting rocks. And there's a few more coming up from behind the vegetation there as well. So these little penguins are crossing the beach night after night. Not always the same penguins in each group, because they can spend... Oh, I can see some surfing the waves in. Kaylee, can you see that? Oh no, now they're getting sucked back out by the ocean. Come on, little buddies. Oh no, gonna dive under the wave. That wasn't very graceful now, was it? Why don't you want to go and join your friends there? It's determined to hang out in the ocean. I wonder again if it can hear some more penguins out at sea, and it wants a more substantial waddle to start crossing the beach. Now, I just went off on a massive tangent talking about penguin poo there, Rach. I'm so sorry. I get very passionate about penguin poo. It's a very fun topic. Did I say? I can't remember if I thought this in my head or if I actually said it, but if you do get to see a penguin pooing tonight, you'll have witnessed a Guinness World Record, because these penguins poop at the highest velocity of any animal in the world. So keep an eye out for those Olympic world records that we have going on at the moment. Now, Rachel, we want to have a question from the
Yeah,
audience
do.
after my poo tangent.
Everyone is enjoying your pool story.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
so good.
Thank you. I could go all night. Don't encourage me.
Yeah, we've got Seth Hughes' birthday today. So I'd like
Seth?
to say, yeah, a happy birthday, Seth.
Oh, happy birthday, Seth. Oh, that's very exciting. I hope you are having a wonderful day. And I would like to say a very hucky birthday to you out there and anyone else's birthday it might be. But there's another special kind of call that the Penguins like to make. And I think I might say this to you. It's a happy birthday.
Very good.
Thank you. That's what I like to think the Penguins are saying when they make that call to you tonight, Seth. So yes, I hope you have a very, very happy birthday and you're enjoying watching another night of live Penguin TV. So any more questions,
We
Rach?
do. A
Great.
7-year-old Henry would like to know, can penguins see in colors?
Oh, Henry, can penguins see in colour? That's a very interesting question. Yes, they can. They do actually see different colours than we do. They're very, very good at seeing light in the kind of blue and green colour spectrum, but in red and orange, not quite so much. So they have to be able to see really well in the ocean when they're diving for their food. Oh, I'm going to switch over to the highway camera because it looks like we've got a few friends here. Hello everybody. Oh, look at you. Aren't you so cute? And again, my camera can't go quick enough to follow these penguins around. But yes, penguins need to be able to see in the ocean to try and find their food, pilchards, anchovies, anything like that, fast swimming fish. And they can dive as deep as 72 meters in order to find their food. And you can imagine that at 72 meters, it can get really, really dark down there in the ocean. So it's really important that they can see quite well in that blue color light. But yeah, they don't see quite as well in the red and orange color spectrum, which is really good because here at the Penguin Parade, we have red kind of filters over all of our lights. So they are wildlife friendly lights. The penguins can see that there's some kind of light here, but it's not as clear as what we can see them. So yes, they can see colors. They see differently than what we do, but I wish I could, I'm sure there's probably some scientific paper out there that can tell us exactly what colors the penguins can see, but yes, they can see a few different colors, but very, very well in blue and green color light. So great work, 7-year-old Henry, was it?
Yes.
Yes, lovely.
Awesome question.
Now, Rach, a couple of minutes ago, advised me that we had 5 minutes to go, but because I've just said there's 5 minutes to go, we might have to say our 5 minutes starts now. But anyone who knows me knows that my 5 minutes it's relative. It's usually closer to that 10-minute mark. I could run this live stream all night, night after night, and still have plenty more to tell you guys. But yeah, we will be here all night and the lights will get turned off on us because the penguins, while they know that it's natural and normal to have people here and lights on for a certain amount of time every single night, we always want to make sure that we are keeping things consistent for the penguins. And if there are any scaredy birds that want to come out a little bit later once it's dark and once the people have left, we're not impacting their journey home. Oh, and it looks like it's just started raining. I'm not sure if you guys could see some of those raindrops on the camera just now, but I do feel for those brave people on the Penguins Plus stand who are really toughing it out just there. Now, I just wanted to zoom in on this little penguin because I have had my eye on it for just a little bit. Come on, camera. It looks like it's a nice chunky sized penguin. Look at you. And now I'm not fat shaming this penguin in any way, shape or form. The fatter you are in the penguin world, the more attractive you are because it means you're really good at finding food. It means you're going to be a really good breeding partner. It means that you're going to be able to find lots of food for your little brown fluffy chickies when they hatch in the breeding season. And I just wanted to point out how lovely and chunky and voluptuous this penguin is. I wish in the penguin world it was, I wish the human world was like the penguin world, where we only had to sleep for 4 minutes at a time, and we could eat as much fish as we wanted and wouldn't have to worry about our figure. But the penguins have definitely got it very, very good. No wonder if this penguin might potentially be guarding its burrow, because we are starting to head into the breeding season. There's a little bit of love in the air here at the Penguin Parade. In fact, we do have a few eggs and a couple of nests with little brown chicks in them at the moment. Some very keen parents who have started early, but usually it starts to ramp up later in September and kind of October. Oh, it looks like there might even be a penguin in this bush over here. What's going on in there? Are you feeling a little bit camera shy there, little one? And
We've got a poo joke for you, Jonathan.
A poo joke?
Before we go.
Amazing. Give me the poo jokes.
So Kaylee wants to give.
Is this the Kaylee from before?
Yes.
Kaylee, you're on fire tonight.
Yes. Where do penguins go to the toilet? Answer: in an igloo.
Where do penguins go to the toilet? In an igloo. Igloo. Very clever. I love it. Toilet humor. People might groan and roll their eyes about it, but I think it's hilarious. So if you've got any poo jokes for me, please chuck them in the comments. And if we get some good ones, I thought there might be some penguins around here, but no, possibly not. Where are you, Pengs? Oh, and there's Lindsay, our security guard, making sure everyone's behaving themselves. Let's maybe jump back over to these penguins over here, because our count did start a little bit earlier tonight. So I'd say most of the bigger groups have already crossed the beach so far this evening. So I think we might finish off the night.
If I can have the last question.
Well, yes, one more question.
Yeah, really wants to get the question answered.
Yeah.
You may be able to answer 2 questions at once.
Uh-huh.
So Ben was asking, let me quickly look, why do penguins come ashore in raft? And Adrian wants to know, what are the penguins' predator?
Oh, okay. So Ben was why do penguins
Come
raft?
ashore in rafts.
Yep.
And Adrian, what are the penguins' predator?
Okay. So the reason they want to try and find as many friends to cross the beach with them out in the ocean, because as soon as they make that dangerous cross across the open sandy beach, that's when they're the most vulnerable to predation from any aerial threats. So out in the ocean, when it's starting to get a little bit darker, there'll be groups of penguins kind of out in the water. They go, yep, we want to start heading home, within the next 5-10 minutes. And so they start making that location call out called the huck. So it sounds like the huck, 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 huck. And so that call kind of brings the other penguins out in the ocean can hear that call, and they kind of all swarm together and form that raft. So a group of penguins, because they're floating at the surface of the water, they look like a raft. And then when they do wash up on the beach at the water's edge and they are getting ready to make their way home, there's safety in numbers. So that's why they're rafting up, because that dangerous dash crossing the beach at the end of the day is so scary and a really vulnerable part of a penguin's day. And the main predators that the penguins are looking out for at this time are big raptor predatory birds. So anything you name it, from swamp harriers, sea eagles, Pacific gulls, peregrine falcons. Oh my gosh, I could just go on. Wedge-tailed eagles, any big bird that you can see soaring around during the day that would love to snack on a teeny tiny little penguin, because they are so small. But the predators out in the ocean, it's mainly, they're actually the top predators, these little penguins, around the waters of Phillip Island. So they're pretty safe hanging around here. It's when they head further out into the Bass Strait to find their food that they'll encounter leopard seals and long-nosed fur seals. But because little penguins have beautiful little white bellies, I don't know if you've ever dived into a pool or into the ocean, opened up your eyes and had a look at the surface of the water where there's the sun streaming down, or there's clouds above, so the surface of the water appears white. So when the seals are looking up, they can't actually spot the penguin because their white bellies help them camouflage against the surface of the water. And same goes for their navy blue feathers on their back. It helps them camouflage at the surface of the water if any of those predatory birds are flying around during the day looking for a tasty penguin to snack on. So they know know that the penguins know that if they start crossing the beach under the cover of darkness, they will be nice and safe, and they're pretty sure that those predatory birds have gone to bed for the night. Now, do we have any penguin poo jokes to finish off, Rach? Has anyone been clever enough?
Yeah, all good.
Oh, good. Awesome. Alrighty, so I think that's probably about time for us to finish up for the night, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another night of live Penguin TV. I think I'm back tomorrow. I'm not sure who's with me, but tune in same time, same place, 6 o'clock here on Phillip Island Nature Park's Facebook or YouTube pages. We will be here for another 25, 30, I'm pushing 36 minutes now talking all about penguins. I told you I'd go over. I'm terrible for it, but we would love to see as many of you here as possible when you come and visit us here at the Penguin Parade. We are at a reduced capacity at the moment, but when it is safe for you to do so, please, when you come, say a friendly hello or say a huck to any of the rangers. We love talking penguin to our guests here. But yeah, if you are interstate or overseas, hopefully we'll be able to welcome you back very, very shortly. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy live Penguin TV. We are a visitor-funded organisation here at the Penguin Parade, so we get our money to protect penguins and lots of other beautiful animals here through people coming to our doors. Oh, it looks like I'm going to be jumping to the Penguin Highway because it looks like we've got some friends here. Oh, the stream's going to go for another couple of minutes. Sorry, everybody. I'm not sorry. But if you have fallen in love with these little penguins, now I can't talk, penguins, and you would like to help us to protect these beautiful little birds, you can donate to the Penguin Foundation, and the link is in the description of this video. So yeah, you can adopt a penguin, you can adopt a eastern barred bandicoot, you can adopt a short-tailed shearwater, a koala. There's lots of different things that you can do that helps us to protect our native wildlife here on Phillip Island. So yeah, if you are desperate to help us with our conservation education and research, that's a great way that you can help support us from afar. But aside from that, again, tune in, same time, same place tomorrow. Get your questions ready. We don't have the penguin numbers for you just yet because technically the penguin count hasn't ended. So if you are desperate to know how many penguins crossed the beach tonight, tune in. Again, same time, same place tomorrow, and we will let you know how many penguins crossed. I think that's everything for tonight. Is that right, Rach? Haven't forgotten everything? All right, Rach, come in. We'll say goodbye in penguin language. And yeah, see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Huck, huck, huck.